we have done so far. To start with, we talked about the present value or the PV. Then we talked about the future value, the FV. We talked about the I, the return or the interest rate. We also call it the rate. Then we talked about the number of years or the time period. We call this number of periods. And then we also talked about the annuity or the payment. So what we have done in these examples is that given the information to us, we have computed each of these variables. We have computed the present value, we have computed the future value, we have computed the interest rate, we have computed the number of periods, and we have computed the payment. Everybody okay up to this point? Okay, good. And finally, we are going to look at two more functions in Excel. And you will learn a lot about these two functions in Finance 609A class. There will be lots of work, but here I want to show you the functions and also show you the computations. So in the first example, on the left side of your screen, if you invest $100,000, then you receive $30,000 in the first year. After 1 year, you receive $33,000 after 2 years, $30,000 after 3 years, $24,000 after 4 years, and $18,000 after 5 years. What is the rate of return that you are going to earn? So we will make it easy. We will simply compute it's called the rate of return or the internal rate of return based upon these cash flows, and we can just use the Excel. We do not have to do these computations manually. So in order to ask Excel to do the computations, we have to tell it where these numbers are. So if you look at $100,000, this is in cell E57. And then if you look at 30,000, it's in 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. So what we are going to do here is, we are going to tell Excel that the cash flows, the numbers, are listed in cell E57 to E62. And then we'll ask it to compute the internal rate of return. I'm going to click on the function and we'll go for the internal rate of return, which is right here. Click OK, and all it's asking for is the values. Where are the cash flows? And we just discussed that the cash flows are in E57. You want to put a column here so that you tell her that this is a range, and this is going to E57 to E62. That is all you need to do. You need to tell them that this is where the cash flows are. Click on OK, and there you go. The internal rate of return is 12%. In other words, if we invest 100,000, then we receive 30,000 after 1 year, 33,000 after 2 years, 30,000 after 3 years, 24,000 after 4 years, and 18,000 after 5 years. We are earning 12% return on this investment. Everybody okay? Okay. One more function. And that is called the net present value. Similar to the internal rate of return, but in this case, the earnings are expressed in dollars. That is, if you convert all of these cash flows into their present values, and then look at the total amount. What is the net present value? So number one, you invest 100,000. That is the current investment. Then you receive 30,000, 33,000, and so on. And based upon that, what is the net present value, or what is the net amount that is added to the value of the company? But one more thing that you are going to require for computing the net present value is the discount rate. That is, at what rate these cash flows are going to be discounted in order to convert these future values into their present values. In this example, I guess I was disconnected. Folks, can you hear me? Okay, good. Alright, okay. So, in this case, we are going to compute the net present value, and in this example, the discount rate is 12%. So I'm going to go here and do the computations in this cell. And once again, look at the cash flows. Where are the cash flows located? In this example, the cash flows are in H57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62. So the cash flows are in cells H57 to H62. And then the discount rate that we are using in this example is 12%. So let's click on the function. Going to go down to look for the net present value. Click on the net present value. Okay. The rate, we talked about that. The rate is the discount rate that we are talking about, 12%. So decimal point 12. The values are located, we talked about that, in H57 to H62. Click on OK, and that is the value added, almost 0. So what we are saying here is that the overall cash flows, the investment, is equal to the total receipts, and the overall net present value is equal to 0. So this is how you compute the net present value, and we'll have a lot to talk about for the internal rate of return and for the net present value in the following class. At this point, you only need to know the function, how to use the function, and how to do the computations. We'll talk about the disadvantages, the advantages, the good and bad things about these two methods in the coming class in Finance 609A, but at this point, how to compute these two variables. So this is all you have to learn, at least for the time value of money concept for this week. So just to recap, we computed the